Okay, hello. So this is a discussion about debt restructuring. There are situations na yung mga companies na realize nila na wala na silang enough cash flow para mabayaran yung kanilang mga utang. So in that case, nakikipag-usap sila sa kanilang mga creditor kung ano ba yung paraan para masettle yung utang or yung debt in a win-win situation sa part ng debtor and ng creditor. So that's when the debt restructuring comes out. So it's a method that allows businesses that are experiencing cash flow problems or financial distress to decrease and renegotiate their delinquent obligations. So nag-agree ang creditor tsaka debtor na mag-change sa terms or maghanap ng ibang way para makapagbayad ang mga debtor sa kanilang mga utang. So that's the purpose of debt restructuring. There are four major methods or modes of debt restructuring. We have asset swap, equity swap, modification of terms, and debt forgiveness. When we say asset swap, from the term itself, binabayaran mo yung utang sa pamamagitan ng pag-transfer ng non-cash asset sa iyong pinagkakautangan. So, transferring of a non-cash asset, it may be land or inventory. Tinatawag din itong dasyon and pago. Okay. So kapag nagbabago or nagbabayad tayo ng utang or nagsisettle tayo sa ibang paraan, meron diyang nangyayaring tinatawag na gain or loss on restructuring. And in the case of asset swap, ito yung formula na ginagamit. Carrying amount of the financial liability settled, magkano ba yung balance ng utang mo, less carrying amount of the asset given, magkano ba yung value ng asset na pinangbayad mo. So yung difference nila, yun ang tinatawag na gain or loss on restructuring. At yun daw ay nire-recognize sa profit or loss. And take note, the carrying value of the liability is simply equal to its outstanding face amount plus accrued interest if any. So parang yung balance siya nung utang mo. Let's look at an example of asset swap. Okay, we have Santa Fe Company with the following balances as of December 31, 2022. So meron daw silang notes payable na 2,400,000 with interest payable amounting to 600,000 pesos. On December 31, 2022, the company transferred to the creditor a land with a carrying amount of 2,250,000 and a fair value of 3 million. So the question is, what amount shall be recognized as gain on debt restructuring? Using the formula provided, we have the carrying amount of the financial liability, which amounts to 3 million. So that's the principal of 2,400,000 plus the interest payable of 600,000 pesos. And it's given ng carrying amount daw ng land na pinangbayad is 2,250,000 pesos. So, based from that computation, we have a gain on debt restructuring of 750,000 pesos. So pagkatapos noon, mag-entry na ang Santa Fe Company, isasara na nila yung balance ng notes payable na 2,400,000 and interest payable na 600,000. So ide-debit na yon. And since pinangbayad nila yung land, i-credit na nila yung land. And that's equal to the carrying amount of 2,250,000 pesos. And yung na-compute natin na gain on debt restructuring will also be credited for 750,000 pesos. Another mode of debt restructuring is the equity swap. So kung sa asset swap, ang ipinangbabayad ay assets, sa equity swap, ang ipinangbabayad ay equity instruments or shares ng debtor company. Tinatawag din po itong debt to equity swap. So just like with the asset swap, kailangan din po nating mag-recognize ng gain or loss on restructuring. We just simply compute for the difference between the carrying amount of the financial liability settled and the measurement of equity instruments issued. Okay. So sa pag-compute natin ng gain or loss on restructuring, ang binabawas natin sa carrying amount of the financial liability settled is measurement of equity instrument issued. However, pagdating sa equity instruments, meron tayong tatlong paraan para ma-measure or malaman yung value ng equity. And ang guideline, ang standard is, it shall be measured at the following in the order of priority. So, una, fair value of equity instrument issued. Pag hindi yun available, alamin natin yung fair value of liability extinguished. Pag hindi pa rin, carrying amount of the liability extinguished. So, first priority, second priority, third priority sa value ng or measurement of equity instruments issued. So since ang equity swap is a share capital transaction, kailangan natin mag-compute kung merong share premium kasi kailangan din natin yung i-recognize. And computed yon as the difference between the measurement of equity instruments issued and the total par or stated value of shares issued. So in other words, pagdating sa equity swap, meron tayong dalawang amount na kailangan computin. Yung gain or loss on debt restructuring and the share premium. Let's look at an example of equity swap. Using the same scenario, Santa Fe Company determine the gain or loss on debt restructuring and the amount of share premium to be recognized on the extinguishment of the financial liability under each of the following independent assumptions. So, Case 1, the shares issued have a fair value of 2,750,000. Case 2, the note has a fair value of 2,600,000. And case 3, both the shares and the liability have no fair value. Okay, again, so sa equity swap, meron tayong dalawang kailangan computin, yung gain or loss on debt restructuring and the share premium. So first that we have to compute is the gain or loss on restructuring. So based from the formula, kailangan natin i-compute yung difference between the carrying amount of the financial liability, which is 3 million, galing yan sa notes payable na 2.4 million plus the interest payable of 600,000. And we just have to deduct the measurement of equity instrument issued, which is given na 2,750,000. Yung difference nila na 250,000 is what we call the gain or loss, or in this case, the gain on restructuring. Next, we have to compute for the share premium. So the measurement of the equity instruments issued, isa lang naman yung given. We have the fair value of 2,750,000. And though hindi na state sa problem, so it's given daw na ang par value is assumed to be 2,400,000. So in that case, we have a share premium of 250,000 pesos or 350,000 pesos. From those computations, so kailangan na nating gawin yung journal entry. So we have to debit the notes payable and interest payable para magsara na and record the issuance of the ordinary share capital, yung par value niya na 2.4 million pesos. Yung share premium na na-compute natin amounting to 350,000 pesos and credit the gain on debt restructuring of 250,000 pesos. So ito yung entry kapag debt to equity swap ka. Nag-credit ka ng equity, nag-debit ka ng liability kasi sinara mo na siya, binayaran mo na siya. Let's let's move on to our second case. So, di ba daw, sabi daw, kapag magko-compute ka or alamin mo yung measurement ng equity instruments issued, first priority is alamin yung fair value. Kapag hindi available, sunod yung fair value of the liability extinguished. And yun yung case dito sa second. So we have the carrying amount of the financial liability na 3 million. Ito pa din yung sum ng notes payable na 2.4 million and 600,000 na interest. And in this case, hindi daw natin alam yung fair value ng equity instrument. Ang alam lang natin, yung fair value no liability. Ito yan, yung 2.6 million. So, yung difference nila na 400,000 is the gain on debt restructuring. After computing the gain on debt restructuring, compute na din natin yung share premium. So, yung measurement ng equity instruments is 2.6 million less the par value of the shares, 2.4 million. We have the share premium of 200,000. After the computations, ito na yung ating magiging journal entry. So, similar lang din naman yung journal entry. Third independent scenario, both the shares and the liability have no fair value. So, since wala siyang fair value, ang gagamitin natin is the carrying amount of the financial liability para sa measurement of equity instruments issued. So, dahil doon wala tayong gain or loss of debt restructuring. However, magkakaroon pa rin tayo ng share premium. So, yung measurement of equity instruments issued will be equal to the carrying value of the liability. So, lagi nating tandaan yung list of priorities sa pag-value ng equity instruments. Bawas natin ulit yung par value ng shares to compute for the share premium of 600,000 pesos. And based from that, ito na yung ating magiging journal entry. So again, wala tayong gain or loss on the debt restructuring in this case. So ang importante sa debt to equity swap or sa equity swap, kailangan lagi nating naaalala yung priority kapag magko-compute tayo ng measurement ng equity instruments issued. And tandaan na meron tayong dalawang kailangang computin, gain or loss on debt restructuring, and the computation ng share premium. Okay, another way to restructure the debt is through what we call substantial modification of terms. So kapag daw substantial modification of terms, the new liability shall be measured at the present value of the modified terms using the prevailing market rate of interest. So kapag sinabi nating modification of terms, nag-a-agree ang creditor at saka debtor ng changes sa terms ng debt. Either babawasan yung principal, babawasan yung interest na amount or yung interest rate. Pwede din yung terms, yung modes. Yan. So, modification of terms. So, here is the main formula for computing the gain or loss on modification. Carrying amount of the old financial liability less present value of the modified terms discounted using the original effective interest rate, including any fees paid, if any. Meron tayong tinatawag na substantial modification of terms, meron ding non-substantial modification of terms. Tinatawag daw na non-substantial if the gain or loss on modification is less than 10% of the old financial liability. In this case daw, hindi siya kino-consider na extinguishment. Parang hindi binayaran yung old financial liability, kundi nag-adjust lang. The gain or loss on modification is accounted for as an adjustment to the old liability. Kung sa ibang case, sinasara mo yung balance ng liabilities, dito hindi. I-adjust mo na lang. So, ang criteria ulit, less than 10% of the old financial liability yung gain or loss on modification. Okay, let's look at some examples regarding modification of terms. Okay, we still have Santa Fe Company. Notes payable 2,400,000, interest payable 288,000. The note has an interest rate of 12% and is due on December 31, 2022. Due to financial difficulty, the company is granted by the creditor of the following modifications to the debt. First, the whole accrued interest is forgiven. No need na daw bayaran yung balance na interest payable na 288,000. The principal obligation from 2.4 million is reduced to 1.8 million. The new interest rate, dati 12%, gagawin na daw 8% payable every December 31, starting December 31, 2023. The new maturity date is December 31, 2025. And let's take note that the prevailing market rate of interest on December 31, 2022 is 10%. And the company paid 30,000 to the creditor as an arrangement fee for the restructuring of debt. So in this case, we have to answer two major questions. First, is the modification substantial or non-substantial? Second, how much gain or loss on extinguishment shall be recognized in profit or loss for 2022? Given also are the present value of 1 at 12% for 3 periods, present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 12% for 3 periods, and also for the 10%. So para saan ba tong mga figures na to? Itong mga decimal, tinatawag po tong present value factor. So, di ba kasi, ang value ng pera is nag-iiba. So, since ang loan natin is payable pa in the future, kailangan nating i-compute kung magkano ba yung value nun, yung present value nun as of 2022. So, meron tayo ditong present value of 1. Kapag sinabi nating present value of 1, ito yung ginagamit na factor kapag isang beses mo lang babayaran yung utang mo. So, most of the times, ito yung ginagamit kapag nagka-compute ng present value na principal. Meron namang present value of one ordinary annuity. Annuity from the word annual. So, ito naman yung ginagamit sa pag-compute ng present value ng mga annual interest payments. So, meron tayo ditong 12%. Ito yung original interest rate na ginagamit sa loan ng Santa Fe. And yung 10% naman, ito yung prevailing market interest rates. So, in order to answer the question if the modification is substantial or not substantial, the first thing that we have to do is to compute the present value nung mga babayaran natin sa loans. So first, we have to compute the present value of the reduced face amount, diba? Meron na tayong, ang principal daw ay gawin na ang 1.8 million and i-multiply siya ng present value of 1 at 12% for 3 periods. So, ang gagamitin natin dito, yung rate pa nung original interest rate. Pero, i-multiply natin sa bagong principal. Sa interest naman, 1.8 million and ang annual interest niya is 8% na lang. Ito na yung bagong napagkasundo ang rate multiplied by the present value of ordinary annuity of 1 at 12%. So, based from that, makakompute natin yung tinatawag na present value of the modified terms discounted using the original effective interest rate. So, we will have ang value na daw, ang present value ng babayaran natin ay 1,627,099. After computing the present value, kailangan na natin i-compute yung gain on modification. So the carrying amount of the old financial liability is from the balance of the notes payable na 2,400,000 plus the balance of the interest payable na 288,000. So we have the carrying amount of the old financial liability at 2,688,000. Ibabawas natin yon yung na-compute natin kanina na present value to get the gain on modification. However, sabi daw nagbayad ng arrangement fee yung company, ang Santa Fe, kaya ibabawas pa natin ulit yon to arrive at the net gain on modification amounting to 1,030,901. After computing the net gain on modification, kailangan na lang natin siyang i-divide ng carrying amount of the old financial liability to arrive at the percentage of the gain on modification. So in this case, we have 38.35%. So based from that, yung ating modification of terms is considered as substantial. Next question, how much gain or loss on extinguishment shall be recognized in profit or loss for 2022? So kanina, kinumpute natin yung present value using the 12%. Ngayon naman is yung 10%. So we have 1.8 times the present value factor of 1 at 10%. And sa interest naman, 1.8 million times the 8% interest rate multiplied by the present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 at 10%. So ito na yung tinatawag natin na present value of the modified terms. To compute the gain or loss, ibabawas lang natin yung na-compute natin na present value from the carrying amount of the old financial liability. So, meron tayong gain on extinguishment na 977,546. However, since meron ulit arrangement fee, babawas naman natin yon. Meron tayong net gain on extinguishment na 947,546. So based from our computations, isasara na natin yung old notes payable na 2,400,000 and yung interest payable na 288,000. And i-credit na natin yung bagong principal na 1.8 million. Mag-credit tayo ng cash. Ito yung ating arrangement fee and credit na gain on extinguishment na yung na-compute natin kanina na 947,546. Merong difference na 89,546 and i-debit natin yon sa discount on note payable. So ito na yung parang natipid ng company dahil sa pag-modify ng terms. Using the same case, Santa Fe company pa rin tayo, pero ito na daw yung napagkasunduang modification of terms. First, 10% of the accrued interest is forgiven. The remaining amount is to be paid on January 1, 2023. There will be no reduction in the amount of the principal obligation, but the interest rate will be reduced to 8%, payable starting December 31, 2023. The new maturity date is December 31, 2025. Prevailing market interest rate, 10%, and the company paid 30,000 pesos as arrangement fee. So, tingnan natin kung ano yung epekto sa ganitong modification of terms. So, we still have to answer the same questions. Is the modification substantial or non-substantial? And how much is the gain or loss on extinguishment? Okay, so to answer first if the modification is substantial or not substantial, una, kailangan muna natin i-compute yung present value ng ating mga babayaran. First, diba ang sabi daw, babawasan ng 10% yung accrued interest. So, ang babayaran na lang natin is 90%. I-multiply natin yung balance ng accrued interest ng 90%. We have 259,200. Next, yung present value, i-compute natin ng present value for present value of 1 we have 1,708,320 and yung present value ng interest payments, principal times 8% times the factor for the present value of ordinary annuity of 1, we have 461,146. So we will arrive, ito daw yung present value ng ating pang mga kailangang bayaran, 2,428,666. After that, same computation ulit, ibabawas natin yung present value sa carrying amount ng old financial liability para makompute yung gain on modification. And don't forget yung arrangement fee. So we have gain on modification at 229,334. Yung net gain on modification divided by the carrying amount of the old financial liability will give us the percentage of the gain on modification. In this case, it was computed at 8.53%. So since the gain on or the net gain on modification is less than 10% of the carrying amount of the old liability, then the modification in this case is considered non-substantial. Next question natin, how much gain or loss on extinguishment shall be recognized in profit or loss? So the answer is the 259,334 na computed gain on modification. So let's just remember na yung arrangement fee ay included in the measurement of the modified terms, and a new effective interest rate is determined to reflect such costs or fees. Next, we have to compute the discount on note payable kasi diba sa non-substantial modification of terms, hindi naman daw siya considered na extinguishment ng old financial liability. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin isasara yung dating note payable tsaka interest payable, hindi natin sila i-debit, kumbaga i-adjust lang. So we have the face amount of the liability less the present value of the modified terms, excluding daw yung accrued interest. So we have initial discount on note payable, and we add the arrangement fee. So the total discount on note payable is 260,534. So as of December 31, 2022, ito na yung kailangan nating gawing entry, yung tinatawag na adjustment ng liability. So yung interest payable, sabi daw di ba babawasan ng 10%, kaya magde-debit tayo ng 288,000 times 10%. Ide-debit din natin yung discount on note payable, yung na-compute kanina, and syempre credit cash for the arrangement fee and the gain on debt extinguishment. So that's the journal entry for the non-substantial modification of terms. Okay, debt forgiveness. Di ba parang ito yung pinakamagandang pakinggan sa net restructuring. The carrying amount of the liability forgiven is simply recognized in profit or loss as gain on debt extinguishment. However, kahit sinabing debt forgiveness, hindi naman ibig sabihin na wala nang babayaran yung company kasi madalas binabawasan lang. Halimbawa, tinatanggal na yung interest or binabawasan yung principal. Using the same balances from Santa Fe, we have note payable of 2,400,000 and interest payable of 288,000. On the same date, the creditor forgave the accrued interest and 60% of the principal amount of the note. Okay, tingnan natin. How much is the gain or loss on debt extinguishment? How much is the amount to be paid in full settlement of the debt? And provide the journal entry. First question, how much is the gain or loss on debt extinguishment? So, ibig sabihin, syempre, ang gain natin dito, yung mga bagay na hindi na natin kailangang bayaran. Okay, di ba? Ang interest daw natin, hindi na kailangan, 288,000, and 60% of the principal amount, no need na daw bayaran. So kapag in-add mo yung dalawa, we have 1,728,000. Yun na yung ating gain on debt extinguishment. So sa debt forgiveness, ang gain on debt extinguishment natin, yung amount na hindi na natin babayaran. how much is the amount to be paid in full settlement of the debt, syempre ibabawas lang natin yung amount forgave, yung pinakompute kanina. Ibabawas natin sa carrying value na 2,688,000. So, ang babayaran na lang ng company is 960,000 pesos. Based from the computation, so isasara na natin yung interest payable, de-debit na natin yung 60% ng notes payable, and recognize the gain on debt extinguishments or debt extinguishment. So those are the modes of debt restructuring. We have the asset swap, equity swap, modification of terms which can be substantial or non-substantial, and debt forgiveness. So my advice is for you to try to solve sample problems para mas ma-absorb natin yung mga computation, especially when it comes to the debt to equity swap na meron tayong mga priorities. Okay, so thank you.